This shoe with a review of the GT Cut Academy, not the GT Cut 3 Academy, but the GT Cut Academy. This is supposed to be the budget takedown model of the GT Cut series, but it feels better than the GT Cut 3 in my opinion in a lot of ways. It's less than half the price, shockingly. First of all, for a size 9, it weighs about 300, slightly over 325 grams, so it's super lightweight, as light, if not lighter than the GT Cut 3s. The fit, go true to size. If you have a very narrow foot, you might want to go down half a size. Definitely go down half a size because this is a pretty roomy fit. This little rubbery part, it might provide some discomfort depending on your foot size, but not too drastically, not as badly as the GT Cut series. There's a bit of a space in the toe box here, so I would advise making some extra lace loops to lock yourself up a little bit, because this is a pretty forgiving fit. The upper material, it's just cheap, mashy type of material, but it's pretty breathable and it provides adequate lockdown, in some degrees better than the GT Cut 3, which has a terrible lockdown. And overall, the padding is very nice, curved in all the right ways so that it won't be poking you in any way. And the heel lockdown is pretty good, definitely better than the GT Cut 3s. The most impressive part about the shoe is the cushioning. They use sort of like a dual density foam setting. A YouTuber in Korea called Foremost dissected it and clearly showed the different levels of foam cushioning that's provided. And it feels really soft, and stepping comfort, cushioning, shock absorption wise, it's much better than some of the dumb foam models that you see out there in the market today. This feels very close to as good, if not better, than the old Jumpman 2020s, where it was a surprise shoe where it's just foam, but it was very soft and forgiving. It's softer than the diamond cut Zoom Freak 4s or the Zoom Freak 5s with a little hole in the middle to provide that added extra space for the foam to expand and compress. This is definitely the best foam cushion shoe that does not feature any extraordinary signature foam like React or anything like that, but this is definitely Cushlon grade kind of softness all over. Compared to shoes like the Ja ones and the Titan ones, the heel cushioning is way I would love to use the F word here to pronounce how much freaking better it is than the dumb signature shoes that Nike's been cheaply spewing at us. Definitely the best heel cushioning among the foam cushion shoes without React or Zoom Extra. In fact, the heel cushioning, I think it's to a certain degree feels better than the GT Cut 3, which is very minimal and rigid. It just has this fluffy foam in the GT Cut 3s. Just think about the little flimsy amount of lunarlon that they used to have in the Kobe Forefoot area. That's how ridiculous it is. The Forefoot Zoom Air is pretty interesting. Remember I can't remember the name right now, not React Elevation, but one of the shoes that was kind of like a Luka Doncic player exclusive before the Luka ones came out. It has the Zoom Air that's not lateral but horizontally placed right here. But that Zoom Air actually works to cover a greater amount of space. And actually, because while you're moving around, if you look at those pictures of NBA players when they're making hard cuts, you see their feet kind of, the side of their feet bulging out. That means the ball of the feet is moving, sliding more towards the core rather than these little so-called pivot points. The pivot points are usually closer to the middle. So the Zoom Air being there when you make hard cuts and really angular lateral side-to-side movements, the cushioning will be there to provide the impact absorption that you need, and the foam around it is soft enough to make sure there is no feeling of irregularity. So the Forefoot cushioning is superb. Compared to those lazy shoes with a minimal Zoom Air on the forefoot with nothing on the heel, this is actually the cross section showed that the Zoom Air is a lot thicker than the Zoom Air used in other shoes with minimal forefoot zoom, like the Kyrie low 4s or the Ja ones. In fact, this is probably as thick, if not thicker, than the Zoom Air used in the Tatum one, except it's a rectangular vertical one, not a square one. It definitely feels better overall. The outrigger is there, but it does not feel like it's providing, a great amount of stability, or rather anti-ankle rollover blockage, because it's kind of soft, but still it's better than not having anything. It's decent, but the shoe is very soft and rounded all over the edge, so you might feel a little bit of rocking sensation before you get instead of a hard breakage. That's something you should consider. The outsole pattern is similar to the GT Cut 3, except they're much closer and the grooves are much deeper. So this should be very durable in terms of wearing them or playing hard regularly in the shoe, even in coarse surface areas. The insole also is really, really great. It's a fluffy type of ortholite type of a material, but it's dense enough to provide be more than just a spongy thing that just gets destroyed after a couple of wears. That's really nice. And the top coating is very suedey, so that it molds and forms to all these nook and crannies on your feet and your toes. So it's really nice. This is a really good insole that I wish Nike would use more often. And this combined with this dual density foam works fantastic. So yeah, remember the Jumpman 2020, and remember how disappointed we are at the lazy flat foam we're getting in these signature shoes these days. This is a whole stratosphere above those crappy shoes in terms of cushioning.